Today's adventure takes us to Will County and to New Lenox, Illinois. And we're in the heart of New Lenox, and we're in one of the older cemeteries of New Lenox. New Lenox has two cemeteries. This cemetery goes back to the early 1840s, has about 1,800 graves here. And what a morning to do this, as you see the fog behind me rolling in this cemetery, which gives it that perfect ambiance. Behind me here is the old portion of the cemetery. And then, if I turn around this side, is the newer portion of the cemetery, still an active cemetery. Again, goes back to the 1840s. So come join me as we explore Maple Hill Cemetery. Welcome back, everyone, for another video of an amazing cemetery. Look at the fog here this morning. Gives it definitely a creepy cemetery feel, that's for sure. Amazing. Here we are in New Lenox, Illinois. Maple Hill Cemetery. Let's see what we can find here. See the lamb indicating a infant or young child. You hear the bells of the church in the background, kind of fitting for this foggy morning. Melvin, we have here. Malvina, wife of, looks like Carlos Long, 1857, 1920 something. That's about all I can read on that one. And we have, that's hard to read. Called home, August 15th, 1899. Some additional writing there. Surname is Long. Let's see if there's anything else on that one. I don't see anything. So that's probably husband and wife there. The Long family. I almost feel like I'm in London as the fog rolls through. Very bad British accent. See the anchor and the cross? EP. That one's a little hard for me to read here. It's like 1820 something. 65 years old. You see April. That one's pretty difficult to read. I like these scroll looking markers. Let's look at this one. The main one here. Van Duzer. Van Duzer, it looks like. Adelaide Van Duzer. 1906 is when she passed away. Then we have George Van Duzer, 1898. Elmina, wife of George, 1893. And Ida, 1863. Ida was barely, not even a teenager when Ida passed away. The cemetery is still active, by the way. Here's the largest monument in the cemetery. Samuel Rush Haven, January 29th, 1827 to 1880. Is that an 80 or a 90? It looks like an 80. Served in the Civil War as a surgeon, promoted to brigade surgeon, later to surgeon of division, with the rank of colonel. Samuel Haven. And oddly enough, this road here off to my left, adjacent to the cemetery, is Haven Avenue, named after Mr. Samuel Haven, who was that surgeon in the Civil War. Nice to know. This is a beautiful monument here. Charles, son of A.S. and L.E. Haven, December 22nd, 1886, aged only 16 years. Here's A.S. Haven. Maybe this is the son of George Haven, who that street is named after. Died 1878, looks like 36 years. Then we have L.F. Haven, born 1845, died 1900. And finally, Infant Haven, 1872 it looks like. And then behind us we have Dwight Haven, 1907. And Helen Savage Haven, 1859. She was rather young. She was just in her 30s. She passed away. Cross, may she rest in peace. Edith H. Haven, passed away 1911. And here's Lizzie C. Haven, wife of Dwight, passed away in 1917. So all the Haven family, at least Haven family from the past, is buried here in this family plot. Okay, I will say my heart skipped a couple of beats because of this. I saw a dog here, and that is a very realistic statue. And I was taken back a little bit. Now, this is interesting because there is no marker here. I do sense that this person, whoever it was a veteran, but there's no stone to indicate who that person was, which I find rather interesting. This is more of the newer section, if you will. But I had to film that dog. So that dog definitely had my heart skip a beat there. Here's Groth. Look at this, guys. Now, we have the father, Karl Groth here, 1906. German. Mother, I don't know what that name is. Sophie, maybe? It's in the... I'm not sure what that first letter is. Let me know what the first name is there. It's a script that's hard to read, 1908. So usually when I see these graves with the curbing, this curbing is either broken or sunk, but this is in great shape. We have more Groth here. Albert, little Albert. Not even a year old, 1911. So Albert could not have been the son of Karl, or I'm just going to say Sophie. I don't know what that last name is, because they died prior to 1910. And then we have 1912 to 1912 here. And that's hard to read it all. Garrett, I think it is. And then 1918 to 19. This script isn't even that good. 1929. So I don't know the relation here, but we do have an infant. Well, two infants, two young children, and this must be their grandparents, I'm thinking. And then we have the main Groth stone, which is in German. And those that have watched my videos for a while know in the Chicago area, it's primarily German and Irish influence back in the 1800s. We have Sophie, Osmus is the name. And then I'm assuming this is Sophie's husband, who unfortunately this has fallen. Carl, looks like Carl's the name on that. And you see the gates there going into heaven. Same thing here, the gates going into heaven. Amazing monuments. It's unfortunate that Carl's is knocked over. All right, let's walk over here. I see one of those zinkies, the bronze tombstones. Well, they're made out of zinc, but they're usually made by a bronze company. Yep, Gillette is the name. So this is very interesting, and what's interesting about this is when I was up in Minneapolis earlier this year, and I did a video up there, and I can't recall the cemetery offhand. There was another zinky monument similar to this that was also Gillette, and I remember that because I thought, of course, Gillette razors. And here's another Gillette monument in another state that is similar. Here's Walter Gillette, age 3 months, 22 days, 1891 there, with the anchor. This is in really great shape. And let's see, he's the only one on that. It's quite a monument for a 3-month-old. Wow. Okay, and immediately behind me and to my left appears to be a Civil War. Yep. Emory Post. New Lenox Volunteers. And here's Emory right here, 1838 to 1912. And Selfa, his wife, 1854 and blank. She may have remarried. What a beautiful, beautiful cemetery here. They do keep this up rather nice. Let's see what we have here. We have another Civil War monument. Starts with an A, it looks like. Hard to tell. Shelley. I don't know. It's beginning to rain, it seems like. It's not supposed to rain today. Maybe it's just the dew from this fog. Fortunately, a pile of tombstones there. Be nice to see if they can get those tombstones back together. We have an anchor. I don't know exactly what that is in the middle. see a W-A-N, it looks like. But, yeah, this one, very, very difficult to read. We have one here that says Mother. Here's the top to it. And a nice one here. This was a nice one at one time. Looks like a man on a horse. It looks like you can see the sword right here. So this could be a Civil War soldier. George J. I see W-A. That's pretty much all I'm able to read there. But you could make out the horse. Not very good, well worn. And that right there indicates to me that he probably was a soldier. I'm going to have to do a little research to see if I can find who he was, because there's no indication that he was a veteran, but that indicates to me that he probably was a veteran. And you can see the base to his tombstone there, and then here's the cap that went on top of here. Looks like all the pieces are there, just needs to be put back together. We have another Zinky, finger pointing up. Pester is the name, or Pester. Either way, Willie. We'll just go with Pester. 1858 to 1862, 4 years old. John, 1864 to 1865, not just over a year old. Here's George, 1879 to 1886. And then baby died March 1876. So this family has lost 4 children at least at rest. This is really a beautiful monument, although there appears to be some damage up here. Like it was, you see that? I mean, it was hit. You can see it was hit like this. But why would it be hit so high up? I'm 6'1", 6'2", and this is about level with the top of my head, so that's about 6'2", let's say, maybe 6'3". How would that get damaged like that? Unless I don't think it fell, because it's pretty straight. I was thinking maybe somebody hit it with a bat, but you'd be swinging like above my head, and you'd have to swing really hard. So I have no idea. I don't think that's the case. I have no idea how that would get damaged. That's interesting. Interesting. And here's a little saying, "To heaven our children are gone, in time to them we hope to go. In love they lived, in peace they died. Life was desired, by God denied." That's a really nice saying. I like that. And we can see here the American White Bronze Company out of Chicago. So children that were very loved, very sad. 4 children passed away, and here we have their mother and their father. And here's John Pester, 1832 to 1904. Eliza, his wife, 1839 to 1924. And they get to see their children right there in front of them for eternity. How sad. I don't know if they've had any children that survived to adulthood. Let's see if there's anything on that side. No, there's nothing on that side. So I'm assuming they probably didn't have children that survived to adulthood, unfortunately. Well, I misspoke earlier when I said that Haven had the largest monument in the cemetery. It looks like Francis has the largest monument in this cemetery. Massive monument, a good 15 feet tall, very large. Now I wonder if, now there's a Francis Road in New Lenox, so I wonder if that is named after that family. We have Allen Francis, 1840-1899. Lizzie Francis, 1849-1917, and we see here, it says Joliet Chapter, DAR, Daughters of the American Revolution, the Louis Joliet Chapter. So Lizzie may be a daughter of somebody that was in the American Revolution. And we have Daisy Francis, 1886 to 1970. Wonder if that's Lizzie's daughter, perhaps. Perhaps. I don't know if there's any markings here on the Francis monument. Well, here's some more Francis on this side. We have Annie, 1942. George, 1932. But no markings on the main monument. John Francis. So maybe this is who that street is named after, 1843-1913. H. Maria Francis, 1846-1916. Then we have Harriet. Harriet lived into her 90s. And then more Francis here. That's quite remarkable. A lot of Francis in this cemetery. This is actually on a mound. I mean, this is huge. Hazel, 1902. And then another John, 1902-1981. And there's the Francis monument there in the middle. These are beautiful stones, just very worn. The broken pillar. Looks like Abraham Francis. So we have another Francis here. Not able to really determine the death date. I'm going to have to look that up. But that's a beautiful monument. Blackstone is the name on this one. Look at that with like the moss growing on it. That's remarkable. See Blackstone there. Hard to see the dates. Here's Frances, wife of John Blackstone, 1838 to, it looks like 1918 there. And then daughter of J.S. and M.A. Blackstone, born 1864, died looks like 1904. Beautiful monument. I'm going to go over here. This is the oldest part of the cemetery, for sure. There's some of these nice, just rectangular stones. Rush is the name. Son of, looks like Thomas, maybe? See, 1849. Yeah, for sure one of the older stones. And we have Sarah, wife of Myron Holmes. And that is really, really worn. Very hard to see that anymore. Just look how beautiful this is. Peaceful. Aside from some cars passing, very peaceful. Hannah's the name on this one. Looks like died 1851. Wife of, I cannot see that. Then we have one that's completely shattered here. I don't know how Hannah's survived so well, but this one does not. It says U.S. veteran. I'm going to look that one up too. So we know this is Hannah. We know 1851, so I'll see if I could find out who her husband was and see if he was in the Civil War. We have a big time sunken grave here. Avoid that. What a beautiful cemetery and a beautiful morning, really. Stanton Link, L-Y-N-K. I see 1926. And Isabel, 1934. That is seriously worn given the time period. I guess it is over 80 years old. Yeah, here's the name here, Link, L-Y-N-K. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for joining me on this walk today. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel and watching these videos. This YouTube channel is nearly 3 years old, about 2.5 years old, a little more than 2.5 years old. And I'm really amazed at the amount of positive feedback I've gotten off this channel, and I really appreciate it. I don't say that enough. So thank you all very much. And as always, until next time, keep exploring.